Welcome to Tammy Nation. Let's go.
I've been running from 9 to 5, been biting my tongue for all this time. Won't let anyone cut me short. I was thinking this was the way to go, and you put up your puppet show. I say cheers to life. No, I'll be no good man. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go home.
Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. It is afternoon. It is a Monday, of course. It was so funny. That's the first time that's happened to me. I hit my outro instead of my intro, and that's after laughing at Professor Falcon for his comment in the chat. So that's what I get for laughing at that. But it is a Monday, you guys, and I thought I'd pop on because I was looking over some of the news and some of the different things that are going on. We all know what's going to be happening tomorrow, so but in the meantime, there's some stuff going on here as far as Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know if you guys saw it or not or heard about it, but she was talking in an interview with Leslie Stahl, talking and blaming the Dems for being that P word against children. And Leslie Stahl kind of just had nothing to say about that, but rolling her eyes and stuff. So the point is, I think it's pretty amazing that Marjorie Taylor Greene called that out. Now, is it 100% accurate as far as the Dems being that way? All Dems? No. My thing was, I was happy to hear that somebody is finally calling out these people who are enabling all these different surgeries for children and trying to normalize this across the country. And for her to do this on a public media platform like she did for 60 Minutes, I thought was pretty amazing. And it's not that I just worship her, think she's all great in a bag of chips. I'm just saying it's about time that some of these so-called representatives do call this out about all these atrocities that are going on against our children, because as we know, the Biden administration is all about promoting and approving all these different surgeries that these children can get. And we all have to remember with these children, some of these kids are so young, we don't even allow them to pick their own bedtime. We don't allow them to choose their own clothes to wear to school. We don't allow them to make their own choices on what they have to eat on a daily basis. We kind of restrict what they eat because we want them to have a healthy lifestyle. So for these people to go out there in the world and say that they should be able to choose who they are, as far as, what gender at that young age, and take such radical changes to their bodies, to me is just so disturbing. That kids have my heart, and trying to protect them is really important. So I thought it was important to go on and say to Marjorie, that was very brave of her. And people aren't going to like it. People are going to tear it apart, but we expect that. The thing I have to say is, how many people can disagree with these children being able to choose what they want to do with their bodies when, like I said, we don't allow them to even pick out their bedtimes or anything like that. It's about time we all stand up and together and unify to protect the children. I've always said that the unify word has gone to the wayside because people talk about it, but that they don't take action to do it. So for her to take some action publicly like this is pretty amazing. It was some harsh words and harsh criticism. And like I said, I don't agree that all of them feel that way on that side. I believe that both sides have their issues, but we all have the same issue of loving and wanting to protect children. So I think that's what's really important. Let me say good morning to Professor Falcon. Yeah, she does tell it like it is. And boy, you know what, they call her some really bad names, but we expect that because we're told that if we go against the grain and we don't try to fit in, that we're going to be pointed out and picked on and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't think she's really worried about that. When you stand for truth and you know it's right, you'll take those arrows and you'll take those punishments from the people that just don't matter, because they don't. They're just out there making some noise, trying to cause distractions and stuff. And, I have yet to see anybody come out with any kind of valuable numbers or valuable information or stats that say this improves children's lives by doing this, that we think this is the right way to go. If they do think that is so right for kids to be able to decide what they want to do, why don't we start with like the smaller things and see how that goes, like picking their bedtime, picking the dinners they want to eat, or what they want to have for a meal all day. We all know the struggles that we have faced with kids, even staying on video games, and what it's done to their minds and how it makes them aggressive. It is an addiction. It causes them to have withdrawals if we pull them away from it. We've seen many videos or parents talk about, they time these kids and they have hissy fits when you take them off these gaming systems, to the point where some adults have to unplug the internet at night, and then the kids will sneak up and plug it back in. So my thing is, the simplest of things that we think that are under our control, as far as them being at home, the things that we face dealing with them, trying to get them off that addiction of those games and stuff. And here we are jumping to them changing who they are physically for the rest of their lives. The long-term consequences of this, to me, is insane. That is, grown adults and doctors that are supposed to help people, allowing this to happen and being proud of it, posing pictures with these children who, have had their breast cut off, and the scar marks, and that's supposed to be a badge of honor. So I'm still having a struggle with that. I think any normal human being would. I mean, seriously, we just want our kids to grow up, and be happy and free and live good lives. And when they're seeing all this kind of stuff on social media, we know they see it. It's gonna tweak their brains. It's gonna cloud their judgment. It's going to make them feel like the outsider. If they just say, oh, I'm a boy or I'm a girl, that makes them the outsider. I saw a video today which really triggered me, and it was a non-binary person talking to children, and she had this doll, and this doll was saying, she's saying, this doll doesn't know if it's a boy or a girl. And one of the kids was like, oh, it's non-binary. And one of the kids, I thought, oh my God, these kids were like in kindergarten, first grade. For them to even know them names, oh my gosh, I can't even believe these kids know this. They are grooming them. And the teacher or the person that was showing this doll and talking to these little kids was saying, yes, so just like you, maybe you don't know whether you're a boy or a girl. So it's okay for you just to say that you're a kid until you can figure it out. And that made me fume. Let me go and chat here. We are responsible for them legally until 18, Kim. Absolutely. But they can opt for surgery without parents' consent. Yeah. How does that make sense in this world, that we are responsible for them, but then they can do this behind the parents' backs? And we know of all these different YouTubers or influencers on TikTok that they are telling these kids that don't tell your parents. That one, I don't know the name of the person, but you see him, her, all over the place talking about, and they have this low voice going, you don't have to tell your parents, just keep it from your parents. They've had their chance to love you and protect you and accept you, and they aren't. So know that you have a community that will protect you, and that's here with me and the other people. And then they, have these different websites these kids can go to and stuff. And I mean, I've just had it like up to here with this. I cannot understand it. Kim Ellen, good morning to you. It's good to see you, or good afternoon. It feels like morning to me since it's a Monday. Also, Kim says they need parental permission for ear-piercing tattoos, but they can go to drag shows and get surgery. It doesn't make sense. That's absolutely correct. So I'm hoping that more of these leaders or people who have a big public platform, let's put it that way, you and I can do what we can do. I mean, I have a small following here, but I'm putting it out there. It doesn't stop me from putting it out there unless they take me down, of course. But I mean, it just takes everybody to put it out there to make the people that maybe don't see it, make people understand that, all these rules and regulations and responsibilities that we have as parents. And, we're not allowed to spank them anymore, or we can be called all these different names, and they can be taken away. And all this is anti-parenting. They're trying to pull these children away from the parents and to try to be their own individuals under their certain grooming, right? Not a male, not a female. Don't tell your parents anything. Don't confide in your parents. It's all undermined and underhanded. And it's that sexualization of the children that needs to stop. And, that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying. That's exactly what they're doing. And also, yep, Kim, there's some clips insisting to do some action in that community. That's true. It's terrible. It's everything. If you don't agree with these people as it's crammed down our throats, they do say that they should verbally go after us. And it's never an intelligent, good conversation these people have. It's always yelling and screaming and some sort of violence and stuff. And, even the retaliation to Marjorie Taylor Greene going on 60 Minutes yesterday, people are just calling her filthy names and stuff. It isn't even like they can have an educated comment to say about her. It's just name calling. And that's their way to go, is just to name call. Leslie Stahl, to me, has been a disappointment from the get-go. I mean, it's another woman that if all you have to say is to roll your eyes and like puff up your face and just act like have nothing to say, there's no intelligent conversation to be had there. I mean, it was just disappointing. As an interviewer, you should be able to have an intelligent conversation with whoever you're interviewing. You don't have to agree, obviously, but more than making faces at the person that you're interviewing. I've never seen anybody that has respectability or credibility just roll their eyes and make faces at people and think that's an intelligent interview at all. It's just so sad. They started with discipline and turning parents in if they spanked at home. Yep, that's true, Kim. When kids are taught that, we are basically raising little adults, and they're not mentally capable of handling much of anything. We know that, the temper tantrums. And then you see, and I really believe that it's tied in with the culture, you guys, when you see all this stealing and robbing that's going on in these stores day in and day out, that these young people, there's some older people doing it too, but they feel entitled to the merchandise and the products that are in these stores just by taking a big bag in there and filling it up and walking out as if, that's just their right to do it. It is very destructive. And then I saw another video as well that now some parents are not even labeling. We went from having gender parties, as far as it's a boy or a girl, these baby showers and stuff, that we're going to have, a gender reveal party. Now what they're doing is some of these parents are not even saying or naming these kids, and they're just going to just say baby or whatever they want to call them, as long as they don't name them and ID their gender as male or female. And that was very disturbing to me today. And even if people think, Tammy, it's a small amount of people doing this, to me, even if it is a small amount, it grows into a bigger animal, doesn't it? As we've watched the disintegration of music and the different words that they say, or children and the way that they dress and how the clothes get skimpier. It always starts small and grows big, right? Because when it starts small, it's normalizing it, getting us to accept it and realize this is the norm. These people are going around, and it's terrible. Hey, Book Girl, it's good to see you too. So no, I don't care if it's just a couple people. It should not be normalized. It is mental health issues that I think the parents have that transfer it down to these children. And you stop and think, how are these kids going to function in society if if they don't even know who they are, identify the pronouns of who they are, how are they going to be functional adults in society? I have yet to see any of them be functional adults. I see them on these different media social platforms being upset, whining and crying because nobody calls them the right pronouns. That's not healthy. That's not being a leader in the community. And also, I see a lot of them. All the videos they're going after the children, saying, like I said earlier, about these children reading books to them, that you don't have to say if you're male or female. You can say I'm just a kid. I don't see any of them functioning for anything. They try to normalize what they're doing. Another cincher was that famous one that's on the social media now, is also the spokesperson for Tampax commercials. He is the spokesperson for Tampax commercials. I don't know about you, but the last time I checked, men cannot have periods and cycles. The best they can do is try to have sympathy pains and take care of the woman when she's going through it, and buy them whatever they need, the chocolates, the flowers, give them a hot pad for their belly to make it feel better and soothe the aches and pains and cramps they get. But no man knows anything about tampons and periods and all that. So so what's concerning is a lot of these major corporations are just trying to eliminate women in general, and they're using men who identify as women to be representatives for their product, feminine products. That makes zero sense to me. It is disgusting and it's disturbing. And Leslie Stahl, like I said, she's been in this industry a long time. So when you have somebody in the industry for a long time and they're interviewing somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene on a subject like this, to not even try to defend her side of it, because you could obviously tell she was disgusted or disturbed by what Marjorie Taylor had to say. She didn't even try to defend her side or make a conversation to try to discuss it adult-like with her. She just rolled her eyes, and that's pretty pathetic when you're an interviewer. So you cannot, to me, hold any respectability for somebody that's like that. The other thing that's going on is, Budweiser also on their can of beer also has that person as a representative on their can of beer. I saw that. It's the same person. I don't know their name. The she that is with the Tampax commercials, and on there's two major ones that are out there all the time. I believe it's the one that went to the White House and, in the little skirt and dress, and on his, I think it was TikTok or something, social media site, he posted getting ready, how it was a big day for her to go to the White House and meet Biden and all of them. And I couldn't believe it. So that's the person that's on the Budweiser can. That's pretty new out. I just saw that today as well. And you're right. Go woke, you go broke, And I'm going to tell you what else on here I saw, and I couldn't believe it. Country music. Did you guys see the Country Music Awards? Okay, the CMT Music Awards. They used this a pop singer. Her name, because it's another one of those he's, Kelsey Ballerina. She used the stage because she was protesting. It's a supposed controversial Tennessee law that is going to restrict drag performances in front of children. So the law has been temporarily blocked by a judge, but they're portraying it as the media is a drag ban. And so she had a whole bunch of drag queens on stage with her at the Country Music Awards in rainbow colored celebration of like gay pride and stuff on the stage. So basically people are saying, well, drag queens aren't going against children. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the reason the drag queens were on this stage were to protest this law that they can't perform in front of children. And that's my thing. Why cannot we leave children out of this? Why can we not? So it's obvious why not. To me, they're grooming them. They want them to become like that. They want them to, just be messed up in the head and confused. We all know growing up is hard enough, being a boy or a girl. But when you have all this out there in the world as adults, showing you all these different things, exposing you to these different things, there's no way to me that you can grow up sane and healthy. I don't see it. I just don't see it. And people may disagree with me, but I just believe a boy's a boy and a girl's a girl. And country music, country music, to me, country music has always been about maybe some beers, about a guy or a woman sitting on a porch singing about their broken heart with their dog and their pickup truck and a guitar and a sunset and some country scenes. And I'm not trying to make fun of it. To me, it was like guys on country music, and girls are girls on country music. It's all about love, blue jeans, and the blues sometimes. You know what I mean? And you see tractors and you see the Heart of America in their videos, just all that kind of good stuff. And so to see this on stage at the Country Music Awards, it's just another company that to me is going woke, going broke. I mean, I don't think that anybody, when they think of country music, thinks of that. And I'm not going to say you should be all accepting for things like that. Once again, they weren't there just to perform as drag queens. They were there to protest these laws that are going on in Tennessee, that they aren't allowed to perform for children. Leave the children out of it. And, Scarlett Johansson came out and said, hey, you guys, what about the tribute to the shooting victims that happened with the Nashville Christian School? Here it are. We have families grieving there. And it was a trans activist shooter that was there that did this. There's nothing about that, but you're going to have all these people on stage protesting that. So there's an imbalance here, and there's a cramming down our throats of all these different things that, this is not what America was made to be. When we are normalizing children to become anything they want to be as far as male or female, that is to me, it's evil. It's not good. It's encouraging children to be non-binary or gay or whatever it is. They want them to believe that they're even an animal. Somebody was saying that they had cat litter in a school in the corner because somebody thought they were a cat. This stuff, it's so hard for me to understand. But if you want to say I'm proud to be a Christian woman with certain morals and values and faith in God, or I'm a man, I like to be a man and have manly body parts and wear jeans, not skinny jeans, or I like to have some hair and I don't want to have fingernail polish and softer skin than my girlfriend. I mean, something's wrong with that in society. They're saying that we are wrong for having conservative morals and values and standards. And so they want everybody to encompass and accept them for who they are, but they don't want to accept us for who we are. They want to change children to who they are. So let's get into chat here. There's all too many kids getting teased for being gay, or even worse. Like, yeah, that's not right, Book Girl. I agree with that. I agree. Anybody picking on anybody and name calling is wrong. Absolutely 100% wrong. But also somebody being aggressive at somebody for their beliefs and standards and saying that you're not accepting of people is wrong too. Like I said, it's very simple. Trying to have a conversation is what it's all about. And people don't know how to have a conversation anymore. They think if you don't agree with them, that then they label you or you're labeling them. And, there's just hate and discontent there and discord. Like I said, I think we can all agree, back in our day, that it's the kids that we have to worry about, this generation of kids coming up. I'd say, the newborns all the way up to the 20 somethings, because look at what's happened in society with these kids. They're not happy. They're not all healthy. They're very distraught. They're confused on who they are, where they belong, who they belong with. They're not able to stand up and say who they are without being attacked by other people. It seems like it's very one-sided anymore, and that can't stop. In our day, remember, if you had, braces, or if you had glasses, or if you were too tall or too skinny, they did always make fun of kids in a certain amount of way. You'd fix it on the playground and it'd be over and it'd be onward and upward. Now with social media, it is out there crammed down their throats like crazy, and they can't get away from it. So there's no downtime. Then, you guys know, you've probably experienced it with your own children with social media. You can have a pack of people that are your friends one minute, and then all of a sudden they go against you, and then they take a social media attack on you. And I've seen it here in the schools here with the kids. You know, they're your best friends one minute, you do something wrong, you say something wrong or something they don't agree with, and they all ban against you. And it's that mob mentality. And that's what I'm saying we need to get away from. We do in society have so much of a mob mentality. Nobody wants to listen to anybody. Everybody wants to just attack everybody. And it's hard enough for adults, and the depression and the anxiety adults get and feel from it. Can you imagine children? The children is what I'm concerned about. We have to do better as adults. And when I see more of this coming out about throwing in our face, we need to accept this and accept this and accept this, not going to accept you. That's very lopsided, very lopsided. Let me see. Kids police themselves. Too many boys, whether are teased mercilessly if they don't ask masculine. It happens in my book girl. You know, you're a teacher, so you see a lot of it too. And trying to and it comes down to not just us. We may be doing the right thing or saying the right thing or trying to help in the right way, but it does come up with the policies and higher ups. Because what I've experienced in my kids' school is the person who causes trouble, the so-called bully. Back in the day, they used to be the ones that face the consequences. Now, it's not that way. Whoever's involved with the bully and it being picked on is also the one that faces the consequences, because there's a no tolerance thing where, well, you were involved, so you both are getting in trouble. You're both getting suspended. And it happened over and over again. I saw it. And I'm like, I don't understand this. Why would this happen? Why would you have both people out? Because that's ridiculous to me. There's right and there's wrong. It's when did we lose? When did we get that blurry line of the gray area? Well, you know, even with sports, it's like, well, you are not first, second, or third place, because then somebody's left out. So everybody gets a trophy. Everybody wins. There's no competition there. There's no self-esteem. There's no stamina beat. There's no individuality or character built. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are lazy. Some people are more aggressive or more willing to work harder. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. There's just different personalities. So if you're sitting back and everybody gets a trophy, the lazy people are just going to sit there and grab the trophy, right? So, I mean, it's the standards that we have anymore are ridiculous. If somebody's picking on somebody, it's very simple. It's black and white. We figure out what happened. Why is this person picking on this person? Did the person they're picking on do something wrong? Then they both need to be talked to? Or is somebody just a bully and the bully's having issues at home or whatever it is? So let's help the bully, not be a bully anymore, but don't punish the kid they're picking on. I mean, I just don't understand how we've lost our way and lost track of just being normal people, seeing what's right and what's wrong. I mean, and the thing is, you know, I know that it does say in the end times we're going to accept good for bad, and the bad is going to be good. But if we know that that's what's going on as people and adults and as leaders for our children, you would think we would try to retract that and not say, well, just ignore that over there and you take your punishment. I know so and so picked on you and I know you did nothing wrong, but we're just going to let that go. I don't believe in that at all. I don't believe that at all. I think that the person that instigates stuff should have to face consequences. I mean, we all face consequences for our choices. And I think we need to get back to competitiveness. I definitely think we need to get back to competitiveness. And, you know, you got to stop and think about this in other countries, you guys. You know, this China, what do they teach their kids? They teach them all these different computer skills. They teach them education is the most vitally important, quantum physics, all these different things, calculus, all this stuff. The pressure is on these kids to perform, be the best they can be, almost to a fault maybe with some. But what are we teaching our kids here in America? We're teaching our kids the gender pronouns, that you should go to these bars and accept these people that are dancing provocatively as adults. We should be giving them money. You get to be whoever you want to be, decide your sex. And Also, the big thing at some of these shows is the little kids are learning how to twerk in front of people. So, I mean, you compare that simple thing there, and you got to stop and think, what the heck are we doing as society with our children? How are these kids going to ever compete in the world? How is America ever going to be and stay a strong leader in the world and be respected if our kids don't even know the basics, but they're over here fumbling around with surgeries and stuff like that. And I know that sounds extreme, but that's what we see. That's what I see out there. I don't see very many commercials or very many different platforms that promote kids being the boys learning a trade, or what to do, or a girl being a homemaker or being a successful person. What I see is the focal point out there in society, and what's pushed down our throats is this gender identity stuff. And it's, somebody said earlier, the Hershey company is doing the same thing. They're putting a girl that feels like she's a guy, or a guy that feels like she's a girl, on the Hershey bars. So it's really not an exaggeration. That is what we in America are doing as a society, as leaders for our children, is showing them, guess what? You can be whatever you want to be with this sexual gender. And if you want to be called Tommy and you want to be a boy and play with boy things, you're unaccepting. What I'm saying is, I can't imagine. And Book Girl, you probably see a lot of it being a teacher. I saw a lot of it back when I was in my children's schools, helping out there. I could not believe how, there was a kid, how these kids, when they're picked on or they have different issues that they were facing, like we did when we were young, how the teachers would just put it aside and say, okay, you just need to take a 5 or 10 minute timeout over on the side, cool down. They wanted them to suppress their emotions and just say, you know what, this is okay. You'll get over it. It'll be fine. While the bully got a quick little, you shouldn't do that, blah, 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 blah. And that bully stayed a bully all the year long. And then this kid, I watched him progress all the year long, being picked on, and he just got worse and worse. And, school should be a safe environment for these kids. And like I said, some competition, there's nothing wrong with having competition. That's how you build character and strength. It shouldn't be, and just everybody is thrown in a pool of whatever for the same job, and then just randomly drawn out a name, and you get the job. You should have to have a certain set of stats to be even interviewed for a job. You should a certain set of skills, a certain set of experience. All that should matter, because you can't have somebody just because they mark a certain box on an interview that, okay, we have to have so many of these people and so many of these people, because then we get into that gray area once again, that people that are not qualified are getting in to these positions that they aren't qualified for, just because they believe a certain way or think a certain way, or they're a certain gender, or they're a certain nationality. And I just think that slope has gotten really slippery as well. And if you're against that, certain things, I've seen this recently. There's a small business in my area that, let me see. I'll get to the chat in 1 second. Let me finish this thought. But there's a certain small business in my area that they have more conservative values. That's what they want. So when they hire people, there's certain standards that they expect, that to me, it's their right, it's their business, that they don't want to have certain things in there. And I get that, because back in my day, let's just give for an example, and it's not that I'm against it, but somebody with tattoos all over and piercings. Back in our day, we knew that if you had that, there are certain jobs that you would that you'd be able to go to, and certain jobs you weren't able to go to. And then if you wanted to take, the piercings out or whatever, some other companies would accept that. I don't think that's horrible for a company. Everybody has a right to what they want and who they want in there and how they want their company to reflect. Somebody may not want somebody conservative looking like me, or somebody like me in their business. I don't fit their likes or whatever, or my beliefs or whatever. I just believe that small businesses have a right to that. And I've seen that here. And then what happens is all of a sudden people start suing other people, or, they start saying, boycott these companies and stuff. There's plenty of businesses out there and plenty of places for people to go, whatever you believe, however you want to look, that you can go to and work. What I have a problem with is everybody should be it should be fluid. It should just be an empty slate. People can do whatever they want. Our rights are being taken away in society. I feel if you're conservative and have certain beliefs, that you're the bad guy. And I don't think that's fair at all. Like I said, one side wants all encompassing and accept everybody except certain people like us the way we are. So, there's just a huge imbalance all the way across that I think a lot of people know about. Some people are too afraid to talk about it, don't want to talk about it. It's uncomfortable. We always told religion and politics are the two things we should never talk about. But, those are the big two things that we're facing issues with nowadays, isn't it? Because we kept closed mouth. We didn't have conversations, or maybe we just stuck to the same ideals and the echo chambers of the people that thought and believed like us. Conversation is a good thing. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if you don't agree. That's how we grow as people. That's how we get educated. But like I said, these major companies that are throwing all this money into forcing all these different things down our throats, saying that we're the bad guys if we don't buy into it, is wrong to me. Hey, D-Dog. Yes, I am Blondie. Let me get into chat here. Many who are bullied act out. I have kids now 5 years later seeking me out to show they appreciate me and my efforts. That's awesome. And it is true, I was bullied too. Like I had said before, that I was really tall. I am tall. I'm 5'8.5", but I was really skinny in like 6th grade to 9th grade. And, I didn't wear makeup. I was raised on a farm those years. It was great. So I was just a country girl, very, very skinny, had no idea about fashion, none of that. And it was okay in school, the school I was at. But the big thing that happened was we had to move to the city, and my mom was pregnant, and where we were at, the nearest hospital was an hour and a half away. It was very desolate. So we had to get to city. All right. We had to move. So I went from a school. It was middle school to high school. Okay. I went to high school in the middle of 9th grade when we moved. And I went from a school that had a total of like 600 kids in it from 9th grade to 12th grade to having like that much in just my class, my year. So 9th grade. So I went from being a country bumpkin girl, tall and skinny, no makeup, no idea about anything, to this big city, massive school, high school in the middle of 9th grade. And as we all know, people are already established with their friends in 9th grade. High school, it's your first year of high school. You're the nerds as it is. And oh my gosh, if you want to talk about being picked on, oh my God, I was picked on so bad because all these girls, did their hair, did their makeup, had all these great clothes. And here I am like a country bumpkin going in there. But, I survived. It's not like it stayed with me. It stayed with me in the fact not holding me back, but stayed with me in the fact, I guess that's why I like the underdog. That's why I love conversation. That's why I love talking to people who have different views than me, different age groups, different backgrounds, et cetera, et cetera. I find people fascinating. I like to believe that there's more good people in the world than bad people. It can get pretty negative out there, but I like to let it bounce off me because everything that I went through, I think growing up, just allowed me to understand that a lot of times the people that are doing the pulling and the hurting and stuff are hurt people, and they have different baggage they're carrying from whatever that they don't have healed. So there's nothing wrong with having conversation or trying to hang out with these kind of people. You learn from it. It's way better than just, I can't go through life with blinders on and just, doing whatever and not having any feel like I've made a difference anywhere. I'm just one of those people that I like to know people's stories. I like to a bad story gone good, or people that have fought through different trials and tribulations that have come out on the other side. I love that strength of character. There is inspiration in that with people. And there's a lot of those stories out there if you look for them. If you stay in your same little bubble of, people, you don't have a tendency to gain much or grow much. So I like that. I like doing that. Let me get back to chat here. Let me see. So it's great. My program, Kim said, was designed to make a difference in a child's life. I learned I did. All you have to do is accept a child and let them just be. They will be a better off. Yes. Um, what else is in here? Kindness and respect. Yes, that book girl, that's true. Everything to make sure to treat each other with kindness and respect. Adults don't do that at all. Adults don't even do that. So if we can treat each other without name calling, name calling I thought went out in middle school at the latest. I can't believe how many adults get on YouTube, and I've been called the names too. I'm surprised that grown adults who have children or are supposed to be functioning adults name call each other. I mean, they don't point out, intelligent things like, oh, well, this person did this because of this, or explain it, or say why they don't like a certain person, or, give an educated statement of why they're having conflict with somebody, or even why they like somebody that other people have conflict with. They just name call and they think, woo. I mean, it's almost like they have a test of who can be the best at calling somebody bad names. And that's the really cool thing to do. And I thought, my gosh, I mean, that's all you've got as an adult, is to call people nasty names that, you could go back to probably elementary school and probably get along with some people and be the cool person there. Let's see. I was a Promise Fellow in AmeriCorps program. Oh, cool, Kim. DEI means diversity, equality, inclusion. That means including religious conservative voices too, for real. Nice. I love that. Yes, absolutely. D-Dog. The freedom of speech in the Second Amendment has to do with unwanted speech, political religion first. Spell check sucks. It does. D-Dog. I was going to say, hey, wait a minute here. I teach a lot of text about resilient characters. That's cool. And that is it. That's the other thing that that doesn't get built up, you guys, is the character. Like I said, resilient characters. So many people get lazy and they want other people to do the speaking for them, or they sit back or do things for them, and then they'll say, oh, good job. Not a lot of people want to, I guess, put themselves out there and take action. I guess the thing is, maybe they can just pray for people that are out there doing that, but it's going to take a lot of people to make changes that we need so drastically here. And I always say it's not too late to do that. It's not too late. I mean, if you care and you have passion for something, take action. I guess what I was trying to say earlier is, I'm a very passionate person with different issues, especially with the kids. And I don't know how you sit back or ignore it or bury your head in the sand, especially with kids. And, we've gone through different things. We went through all that sickness that was in the headlines. And, now Mr. T's stuff's going through the headlines. But, if you notice, the kids has been on the forefront too. It was a few years ago when all that came out about what was happening with them. And some people said, oh, that's exaggerated. Oh, there's no this or that. I'm trying to kind of watch it so I don't get in trouble. But you guys know what I'm talking about. And now, all these years later, a lot of it we found out is true. And we do see what's happening with the kids. I mean, I don't think that anybody, like I said, in their right mind thinks that a young child under the age of 18, even over 18 sometimes, especially for men out there, because they don't mature halfway decent, most of them, until they're like 25 or older. And then some like D-Dog never mature. No, I'm just kidding. But, like I said, letting them make such life-changing decisions as adults is incredible to me. And I don't understand it. We are doing such a disservice to these kids. And I believe having the games as babysitters is a disservice too. And I know that it's hard to get them off of those games, and we fight a lot of battles. But you know what? It is the way it is. I've seen videos where the parents have broken those game consoles because they get so frustrated because these kids know how to do all these games, but they don't know how to go out and mow the lawn, or they don't know how to do their own laundry or do this or that, whatever tasks it is to survive. I mean, you can go to parents that have, 25-year-olds or whatever, and maybe they do have a job in their apartment, but you go in their apartment or the place they're living and it's just filled with like DoorDash. DoorDash is such a disservice to people, the young kids these days, or the young adults, because they sit on these games and play, and they get DoorDash served right to their door, and they play these games, and that's where they spend their time, energy, and effort. And I don't see how you can be a productive person with that, because most of them just stay up. Somebody the other day said their kids stayed up 24 hours. They're training to be a fireman, and they stayed up 24 hours playing these games, and then had to go to fireman school. And I'm like, you can't endure that very long. It's crazy. Men mature to 14 and then their body ages. That's D-Dog, that's not a joke. That's the truth. Kim, yes, Mr. T. Oh, he took off a few minutes ago. Yes, and I was going to bring up Mr. T too, as far as tomorrow with Marjorie Taylor Greene, which is how I started this off, was how she came out on 60 Minutes. But Marjorie Taylor Greene said tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you guys, she's going to be part of the rally that's coming up for him in New York City at Collect Pond Park. So she's going to be there tomorrow. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people covering it and stuff. I'm going to watch it. I'll probably go on tomorrow afternoon or evening, or once Mr. T gives whatever comments he's going to give, because he's going to give a statement. I forgot what time it was, but I'll probably go on after that. And as they say, chew the fat with you guys a little bit about it, because I know plenty of people have said, I don't care about that, or nothing's going to happen, or whatever. But to me, it's historical. This hasn't happened before. And whether you like him or not, I want to hear what he has to say, and I want to see what's going on this week. I mean, you should pay attention to it. I feel I'm going to. And if you don't want to watch, you don't got to watch, obviously, free choice. But I'm interested to see what's going on. Even if nothing happens, I mean, it's still a procedure. It's still a process, and it's something that hasn't happened. So I'm interested to find out what does happen with that. And if nothing. But it's still, will it even be done? Will there be a mugshot? Will there be handcuffs? Maybe not. Maybe he'll get in, they'll book him, and then he goes out. And then we'll see where the journey takes us from here. But once again, it's all one-sided, isn't it? While they're doing this to him, whether you like him or not, we've got that Biden family over there on the other side, and we still have nothing coming of all the different documents. Well, it's in the works, but we're not seeing it in the media. Let me correct myself. With Mr. T, it's all over the media. This is what's happening. Yeah, we got him. And, they're over there. They're happy they got him, and here he comes. But, over here, they're ignoring all the different documentation and files that came out that got released through Twitter. Also with the whole laptops. And I know we're sick of that word. We're sick of that, but you can't tire and fatigue, because the reality is, those are real. That all happened, and it's in the process of whatever's going to happen. And the thing is, if people say, well, nothing's going to ever happen to that because they're in charge, and we've got this over there against T, that's what's happening. You still have to pay attention, because there are people fighting for that stuff, for the equality, for that to come true. And for the future, we need to make sure that it's even-sided. What is fair for one is fair for the goose is the gander, as they say. What's fair for one is fair for all. And that's why I think it's important to not lose track of it, to keep track of what's going on out there. And making those changes and keeping the mental marks. We forget some things so easily. We get bored with it. We get sidetracked. We get fatigued. But I'm saying you should still keep track eventually. Take your little break that you need, and then come back to it. It is our country. It is what's going on in our country, and it is fatiguing. And there are a lot of liars, cheaters, stealers, con men out there, con women. But there are a lot of good people still fighting the good fight. And that's the hope of America, isn't it? The hope of the human spirit of this country is we don't give in, we don't give up, we keep fighting the fight. I mean, that's what our forefathers would want. That's what they fought for. And man, I can't imagine how they would be feeling now if they were alive in this day and age, because we've come such a long way away from their morals and values and what they set this country up to be and what they fought for. So, like I said, we keep fighting the good fight, and anytime you need to take a break, or if there's a topic that's too much for you, don't cover it or don't look into it, but go to what gives you passion and makes you feel that you can make a difference and keep you inspired and keep you with inspiration. Let me see. He's fighting for the little guy, and whether you like him or not shows there's a two-tier justice system. Absolutely, Kim. And that's why I don't understand people. Hey, independent, many united. Good afternoon. What I want to say about Mr. T is, let me take a sip of this coffee. Hang on. With Mr. T, yeah, he's one person. Yep. He didn't do everything in the timing that people wanted to. Yep. People say, well, he's past getting elected again. Yep. He's not, it's over with. People can say that all they want to, but my thing is, he's still the only man out there that has stuck his neck out for this country, for the veterans, for the military, for the police, for the emergency crews, for the individual businesses, for us to be energy independent, for us to be not a threat, but respected by other countries around the world and the globe. Look at where we are now. So the thing is, it does take more than one man, but this one man is the one, to me, that set all this in motion and exposed all of it. And it's going to take all of us to do our part to get it back. Now that we see what has been shown, we can't unsee it. And if we do try to ignore it, then that's just us accepting it and allowing it. And I don't think we're going to be in good shape if we do that. Also, the American spirit that is behind Mr. T, that doesn't go away. Anywhere he goes, you see the flags, you see people united. They're united together, having a good time, waving the flags, loving this country. You see the spirit of this country. That's what I love about Mr. T and his rallies, the human oneness, camaraderie of the people, the proudness of the Bible, God, the flag, United States flag, the morals, the values, letting people and small businesses create and grow and thrive. Not always all about corporations. Yes, you do have to have some corporations. Yes, I understand that Mr. T is a billionaire. I understand. But, if you go back in videos from back in the day, he still was all about the individual worker. He grew from the, bottom up, per se. He lost money many times. He took risks, and of course people called him out and said, he lost millions and he's, he was a failure. No, I don't think he is. I mean, you look at him now, I don't think he's a failure. He gave up so much to fight for this country and for us, and he didn't have to do that. And I'll say, and all these other multimillionaires, these billionaires, what have they done for the human spirit, the country, to rectify the different tragedies against the veterans and stuff like that? And I'm to a point where sometimes I think, you guys, and it's not very positive, if these people who are in charge and leading this country, I don't care what administration it is over the years, if they wanted to eliminate the homeless, they would do that. If they wanted to take better care of the veterans, they would do that. It's just sickening to me that over all these years, we're facing the same issues that we've been facing. Now, it did get better under his administration, but also world hunger and stuff. You've got, some of these people like Gates going over in these other countries doing tests on some of these children and stuff over there for the so-called immunizations, let's just say. You see that happening, but what have they really done to improve water? Don't you think water would be improved? Or is that us getting involved in other business we shouldn't get involved in? Well, if you say that, then why are we giving all this money to these foreign countries? They want to take away the weapons here, but look at what we're doing. We're supplying other countries with all these weapons. And over the years, a lot of these bad groups have used those weapons against our very people, our men and women who fight to keep us free. And that's just disgusting and disturbing to me. And you say, well, that's politics. That's how it goes. I don't believe that anymore. I think that we're aware and we're awake, and we can make the changes. We can get those people out, and we can have the country of freedom that we want to live in, and keep the money here to take care of the people that kept us free for so many years. I think that should be a major priority, is taking care of the veterans and taking care of the homeless people, and the people that are sick, that are on the streets, that have mental issues. The institutions need to come back, because there are so many troubled and sick people out there in the world that is not their fault. They can't help themselves. They need help. So it does really get to me too, that our help always goes out there by the trillions, and it never stays within our country to help our own. And don't even get me started on the border and stuff, because the next thing you know, I'm going all over the place. I just came on to, like I said, talk about what happened with the Country Music Awards, what happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and what she had to say in her interview. Like I said, you don't have to agree with her 100%, but I think she deserves credit for being out there, calling things out for what they are. If the Biden administration is proud of what they are encouraging with these children and the surgeries, we have the right to call out that we're not for that. Just like anything else, we're allowed to freedom of speech and freedom of how we feel about different things our administrations and our leaders that are supposed to represent us do. That's what we're supposed to do. Otherwise, if we muzzle ourselves and keep our mouths shut, doesn't really matter who's in charge then, does it? If we become mute, it doesn't matter who's leading, because they get to do what they want and we don't get to say anything. And that's not how this country is supposed to be. We're supposed to be vocal. We're supposed to be involved. And, I'm proud of people the last few years at, coming up with different channels, coming up with different programs, having different avenues and ways to educate people, including myself, helping teach us, let us learn, and showing what's really going on out there in the world. Social media can be a wonderful thing. And obviously, to share information and stuff, but some of these people that want it suppressed, we've seen what's happened to people over the years as well with social media. You have to worry about what you say and what you do. If they don't agree with it and there's a trigger word here and there, then they shut you down. And that's not well. That's not what this country is about. Fight fair, people. Don't lie, cheat, and steal and hide behind things. If you really feel that way about a certain topic, a certain subject, have a conversation, have votes, have all that good stuff. Liars, cheaters, and stealers have no right to this country and this world, and to affect innocent citizens and children, et cetera, by getting away with it with deals behind closed doors, or buying people off and all that kind of stuff. It's disgusting. I mean, it's just ridiculous, because you know what? They always say cheaters never prosper. You'll get caught eventually. Liars never get away with the lies for very long. It catches up with you. So that's where I say, you keep your faith in God, and you keep the hope alive, and you follow people who inspire you. You share what you know and what you learn on a daily basis, and the country will be better for it. You just put that good energy and good stuff out there, and we're going to be okay. We keep fighting the good fight, and we're all going to be okay. Hey, Adam, it's good to see you too. Well, I think that's the wrap for today, you guys. I think that there's going to be a lot that happens in the next week or so, I'm sure, like it has been. Like I said, I'm going to probably go on tomorrow and share some thoughts and see what you guys have to think about what happens with Mr. T and with the rally and stuff out there. Like I said, since it's something new and something different and something that really I don't think is fair, not just because it's him, but because of the evidence that supposedly is against him, but they're ignoring other evidence, and nothing's happening to the other people where there's more evidence of reasons they should be in trouble. It's not happening. I'm going to watch it and keep my eye on it. And hopefully you'll join me tomorrow sometime, and we can have a chat about it. In the meantime, I'm going to hope that you guys have a great rest of your Monday. I have to head into work and stuff and do a few things. So I'm glad that you guys came out and spent a few moments with me today. And it was good seeing you guys. And I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good day, everybody.